So Gunn was talking to Collider about, hey, what's going on with your Batman player? I mean, people are excited about Penguin. Shouldn't you pay that off by having some news on your Batman Brave and the Bold movie? He says, there's no set timeline for anything. Relax, guys. The one thing that I've tried to make clear to people from the beginning, in the way that I hope we're different, is that everything in DC is going to be based on the writers. Until we have a screenplay that I'm totally happy with, that movie is not going to get made, no matter what it is. So we've been really fortunate with some screenplays. Now, is that a good or a bad thing?
I'm gonna say that's a good thing. I mean, I would rather have somebody wait an extra year and a half to give me a good Wonder Woman movie versus giving them Wonder Woman 1984 to meet a time.
Right.
Like, I will take this extra pass on this. Let's chop this back a little bit more and come up with something that's good.
Like, anytime y'all can take a swipe at Wonder Woman 84, y'all are not too proud to go.
That movie suffered literally to make a timeline because I'm not thinking Patty Jenkins makes that movie if she doesn't have a timeline. They're saying you have to put this out now.
That movie was so bad on multiple levels. If she didn't get that out till now, it still would have been bad. Again, so that movie in 84 was bad.
Delayed it though.
What'd you say?
They had the delayed shoots. It didn't come out on time in the first place. And we don't call her Patty Jenkins. We call her Patty Janky. That movie was janky as hell.
Janky World.
That one was
J-A-N-K-E-Y.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So and my whole thing, and I know Chief will be right here with me on that as we got our blocks aligned, is that don't announce we've got a Batman and Robin movie coming if you don't have a screenplay you're happy with. Just say we got Superman. And you wait patiently for everything else. Don't go, we've got these grand plans to have 15 movies out. Oh, yeah, one of them Sergeant Rock. If you don't have it exactly the way you want it, don't tell us. Because the second it gets out to us, we're like, what's going on? Where is it? What's the update? Is it delayed? Is there some problems with it?
Point Blade. How long have we been hearing that?
Like 3 years now.
Ever.
It just makes you look incompetent. Like you know what I mean? Yeah. Like we should all be putting trunk monkeys in your car, and every time you pop that trunk, one pops out and just gives you the business. You know what I mean? So it's sad, man.
Sad? I don't know if I'm feeling sad.
No, I said it's sad when they just can't come and tell you, yeah, we're coming with such and such. Be ready, and then you're sitting there like, man, I can't wait. And they're like, we're gonna push it back. Then we don't know if we're gonna make it. It's shelved indefinitely. You're like, what? So yeah.
I mean, I would want to have some anticipation of stuff. Like, hey, here's what we have in the next 5. I mean, again, this is why Marvel actually works. When they say, hey, the next 5 years, here's what we got. Here's the majority of what we have planned. You might not always, it might fail a little bit, but here's what we have planned. Like, this person's got 3 years to come up with a script. We'll shoot in a year and a half. We're good. That should be how it works. But
why does it take 3 years to get a good Batman movie out? Like a script for Batman. I mean, the dude is dressed as a bat. He's got a million great villains to choose from. Oh, I'll go with this one. This maxi suits. All right, let's have fun.
Why did we have a scenario where Batman versus Deathstroke didn't get? I mean, the Predator didn't get made into a movie. Like, you need dialogue, and you need to figure out how's Batman connecting to the next thing.
Well, really, it's pretty easy. Grab $1.75, go to comic book store, grab a comic, open it up, read it, adapt it into screenplay.
Awesome. Where are you buying comics for $1.75 now?
Are they more than
more, Grandpa?
Bro.
Oh yeah.
Tell me it's been a few decades since you've been to the comic store.
And buy several comics.
Looks back with his Ovaltine and
yeah. I
got a bunch of walking from the farm.
I guess I'm way off. But I mean, go to the comic book store, find a storyline, Adapt that storyline. Yeah, Parks. What? I can't even see that. What is?
Yeah,
What
pull
is
the
that?
title down.
Which one is
Pull the
that?
title. You don't have the price showing. No, it's too far away.
Yeah.
Flash.
Chief got to put on his fancy glasses.
Bring it up. Is that a 4?
Yes, it is.
Oh, nah.
I like how he took the glasses off too. Like, oh nah.
That's why I'm not in the comics anymore. There's no way. $4. You know what I mean? Does the writer come and read the book to me? $4. I expect to be walking out with the writer. Look, when we get home, on my couch, and just read.
I've got some news for you. Some other things might be more expensive than you remember too.
Man.
But yes, I mean, they have the source material. It is not like, oh man, tell us this amazing story about this guy who does this. It's like you don't have to do any work. Grab a Batman trade. And Batman is the easiest one. There's so many great stories. And Christopher Nolan didn't mind every last one of them for his 3 movies. You've got tons. You could do the Court of Owls. That would be so easy, so quick. You have to have a lot of bad guys.
I mean, that could take you for 5-10 years.
Yes.
I mean, like you could literally, it's like each one of your Batman movies could have a little bit more of the Quarter Owls, and then you pay it off whenever you want to. I mean, you have a Talon shows up in one of the movies, and just who the heck was that dude? And everybody's like, oh, that was a Talon, but he's not the main bad guy. Right.
It's crazy because you have a great story, so you don't have to you don't have to worry about that. You do the adaptation and you focus on production. You just focus on production values to tell the story and get the fans hyped.
And again, this is why it's so stupid, because you have a built-in audience of a dwindling fan base who all you have to do is show the ass of the Quarter Hour. Like, ooh, I'm in.
Yeah,
that's it. And we're going to see it because it looks cool. And it seems like, oh, you guys are doing that storyline that I remember liking.
And it's not hard to, it would be hard. It's harder to fumble a storyline of the Court of Owls than it actually is to tell it. It's all of that.
You have to work to mess it up.
Aston Shady. Like, I mean, are Bruce Wayne's parents dirty? Don't know. Let's delve into it. Go.
Let's say no. There's so many stories. They could do Hush. Hush is right there. It's a self-contained story, basically. And because you just have to act like, well, everybody knows who Riddler, Clayface. I mean, Jason Todd may be a bit tricky for him, but tell the story in the movies. Good grief. It's not that hard. You have the comics. The same thing where I trip with some occasional misfires from Marvel. Like, why are we doing this bad story? You have a million good ones. Comic books are the easiest simply because the screenwriters don't have to do any work. The smartest comic book movie screenwriter would be the one who just slightly tweaks John Byrne's script, the Chris Claremont script. Oh, we don't know what to do with X-Men. Really? You don't know what to do with X-Men?
And this is where I think trips up comic book writers. Like just the comic book franchise.
He'd be too
unlike books that get adapted. I think there's some they don't want to pay the writers of these things because they think that's going to mess up the model. And they're like, oh, we own the license to have your story. And we can tell them whatever we want. And you never have real creative control. But if we were to pay you as a writer and a screenwriter, then we might have to change up how we how we actually do these comic book deals. And maybe that is why they don't say this is an adapted screenplay from this comic book or this graphic novel. Because I don't even know if Christopher Nolan, like in the notes, actually said, "Hey, I'm adapting this from Long Halloween." What was the other 3 he took?
He did a lot.
Yeah, I don't think he said he didn't have to acknowledge it. I think he just was able to. I like this. I'm taking it, and I think that's the model DC and Warner Brothers want to keep because they don't want to have to run something by somebody else.
Listen, they don't have to run. They don't have to check with anybody. Hey, Chris, what were you thinking here? Don't do that. Just say, hey, this is what he was thinking. You can change it a little bit, but just to pepper out the scene a bit more. But this is your Bible, and give the writer $1 million or $2 million. I mean, those movies are gonna make way more than that. So if the writer gets $2 million from working hard from back in the day, who cares? Anyway, so let's see here. King Letter, that's the same way with Star Wars. Dark Horse Comics got years of amazing Star Wars adventures and characters are already written, ready to go. Jay's about to get upset.
Good. I laugh. I mean, as much as we talked about it, it's like Heir to the Empire was there for the taking. Yavin Vong is literally, if you wanted to make a Star Wars thing that you hadn't seen before, you could, and even if you didn't have like the older characters, you still could have said, hey, Han and Luke, Leia are X-where here's we're dealing with Anakin, Solo, Jason, and Janaea. Like, you could have easily done that storyline.
Independent Jason's getting upset. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's just like, I don't understand. Like, James Gunn's going, oh, we're just waiting on a good script.
It has
Where
to
would
be.
I get one of those from?
I mean, like,
where could I find a great idea for a Batman story?
Because, I mean, like, there was like video like years ago, like Kathleen Kennedy said, there's no source material for Star Wars, and everybody who has a book on their shelf, like, the reason there's still Star Wars is because of these books. It's not because of the movies. For years, the only thing holding us down for Star Wars was books because people were expanding the universe. And then some of that got kind of cribbed over when George Lucas said, hey, that's not how I want to take it. And it's like, okay, we can work around that. That was all they had to do. It was like, hey, we got storylines. Any one of these goods?
Yeah. There's so many good stories. I was just thinking, instead of like Sergeant Rock, they could tell the whole, like, they don't even have to go with one of the A-listers. They could go with someone like Connor Hawk, right? And do like the Fist of the Monkey, like that whole storyline. If they want to use someone who's not an they're one of their top guys, but tell an interesting story. There's so many.
How many? I don't even know that story, but Carter Hall's story makes for movies.
Yes.
There's some scowls on these faces here. I didn't dislike Book of Boba Fett. I feel like a lot of people did, but I was fine.
You mean when they're actually speeder biking around? Ooh, were they?
Man, that was a worthless episode, but it's like, most shows have a worthless episode here and there.
Yeah.
So let's move away from the fun over at DC. Let's talk about Marvel Studios. Oh, here you go. Jalen says Warlord, Starman, the Atom Swamp Thing, Animal Man. Yes. I mean, there's way too many. And I think they can make an Atom movie just fine and not make it feel like it's derivative of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
It's like, and Swamp Thing, they can't even get a season premiere of Swamp Thing before they cancel it. So, yeah. But they are doing a Swamp Thing movie. Remember, that was part of the ones that they announced. And Chief was really looking forward to seeing that Swamp Thing movie. So many possibilities. And I mean, and they don't do teams. Like, gosh, like that's one of the things that people get excited about. Like, oh man, they're all coming together. Like Marvel made $1 billion with Avengers. Why do we just not do that over and over again? Speaking of, Marvel Studios has plans to introduce the West Coast Avengers in the MCU. And guess which character is going to be at the forefront of that?
Wonder Man.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's on there. Wonder Woman. Yeah, so looks like we're going to see a little bit more of him showing up in there. We're gonna have the Young Avengers and the New Avengers helping to battle Doctor Doom. That should not be a good fight. But
They're
yeah,
cannon fodder.
what did you say?
So they're cannon fodder.
No, that's in the DC animated movies where we kill off teams we set up and never do anything else with them. I have no doubt that Marvel could probably make a better Power Princess movie than DC with their Wonder Woman. I do have some doubts now. I might have agreed with you earlier, Michael, but now it's like depends on who's writing it. Well, we wanted to do a show about a strong female, but then we realized we didn't know how to write a strong female, so we just decided to make it a comedy. So we'll go next from there. Deadpool and Wolverine has become the most watched live action film on Disney Plus since Black Panther 2. 19 million views in the first 6 days.
Wow.
That's a couple people. So let's see. Best selling. Huh?
I said that sounds like you should have kept it in the movies longer. I'm not. That's y'all gave away free money. That was
don't feel too bad for it. They also became the best-selling R-rated title in its first week on digital. It debuted on October 1st after a 68-day theatrical window. Well, for DVD, it's an 89-day window. So let's see. Right now, 13th highest grossing domestic film all time. Number 5 domestic, number 10 international, and number 7 global MCU film of all time. And had the highest grossing global opening for R-rated film, surpassing Deadpool. It looks like they will be working on a sequel, shockingly. Who saw that coming? Ryan says, what's up, Ryan Daly? The idea of a West Coast Avengers was novel at the time, but it's kind of ridiculous considering how global, galactic even, the Avengers are. Yeah.
I agree with you, Ryan. I will say, though, that West Coast was always kind of the tongue-in-cheek version. You know, they were kind of like the laughs. They gave the laughs. So I could see where, with as global as the Avengers are, you kind of have this. I mean, I'll tell you what, I'd rather see that than the Thunderbolts. Maybe that's just me.
Well, this particular version of the Thunderbolts, where it's like, hey, let's get all the characters from Captain America and Black Widow. And we just introduced in Black Widow, remember? Yeah, that was great.
I just watched like extended trailers of that, and it was like, still not excited on this one.
I can't. I want to be. I can't.
I'm not even gonna lie. I don't care. I am excited about Brave New World for Captain America, but I have zero or very little interest in Thunderbolts / New Avengers because it's like the same character. There is no power balance whatsoever. They're all variations, watered down, diluted takes on Black Widow. And oh yeah, here's Bucky too.
And Bucky will be the strongest person there.
He should be.
But I mean, not spoiling anything, but it's the villain they're fighting should mop the floor with them.
Yeah, comedic Marvel superhero movie. That's just what we need. Hey, Jamie, we do have Trevor hanging out with Wonder Man. And oh gosh, that's so bad. So bad.
I mean,
he was looking like he had a lot of wine today.
Okay, Jeff.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Like, I'd like you to see after watching Agatha what you think. It's like, all right, maybe somebody was paying attention again. Look, so Wonder Man. I mean, I don't want to be the test case, and I want you to watch it before I have to. So just make sure that happens, please.
Okay. I will do so.